Welcome back, guys. It's been some time since I posted the 10 things you didn't know about Shouto Todoroki, but in that video I promised you lot I would go over all the reasons and signs to why Dabi's true identity is more than likely Shouto's eldest brother, Touya Todoroki. There have been much more recent evidence to support this claim, so I will be using that in this video. But before I start, here is a reminder: if you lot are interested in some cool anime shirts, hoodies and accessories, to go check out Anime Ryo. With the discount code AVD Squad, you can get yourself a 10% off literally everything. Link is in the description and comment section below. You'll be able to cop some lit shirts and hoodies, and at the same time, you'll be helping us out. With that, let's cue the intro. Okay, so before we examine all the signs and evidence of Dabi being Shouto's brother Touya Todoroki, let's break down the Todoroki family and everything we know about them. Starting with Enji Todoroki, who is also known as Endeavor. Now, what we do know about Endeavor is that he is sort of a very hard-hearted, determined man, to the point where he had forced a marriage between his wife Rei, solely based on the purpose so that he could use his and her quirk to produce a strong offspring. Endeavor's goal was to maximize the effect of his own quirk by countering its weakness, which was mainly overheating by raising the body's temperature too high, as even though Endeavor is shown to be unaffected by his flames, his body is not immune to having a heat stroke. Hence, that's why he takes care not to overuse his powers. Basically, he's fireproof so he won't get burnt, but he can still feel the heat, so his body will still be prone to heat strokes. However, with the combination of Rei's ice quirk, Endeavor's hell flame quirk would have been able to regulate the body's temperature, as when the body would be overheating, the ice ability would be able to lower the body's temperature. Effectively mastering this combination, the individual would be unstoppable. So, Endeavor with this knowledge literally forced his marriage to happen, and Rei's family couldn't really refuse this proposal, possibly due to Endeavor's influence and power, and it's not really clear if Rei even consented to this marriage. But either way, there was no love to begin with, just one goal, which was to create a powerful progeny. Ultimately, due to this, the relationship between Endeavor and his family became very abusive. By the way, guys, I'm going to get to Dabi in a moment, as all of this information is important for us to understand how the Todoroki family was really like. Now, it is revealed that Endeavor ended up having 4 kids with Rei, his daughter Fuyumi, and his 3 sons Touya, Natsu and Shouto. Now, apart from Shouto, not much is delved into the other siblings, but what we do know is that Fuyumi, Touya and Natsu along with Shouto was in a flashback showing when they were young. We briefly get a side glance at the siblings and how they look like as kids, and through Shouto's perspective we get to understand how he was treated by his father when he was young. His father solely focused on him and would put him through extreme training where it was deemed overly excessive and abusive. And while this was happening, his mother was also mentally and physically abused. But what about the other siblings? What were they going through? Well, it was implied that they were neglected, but Endeavor also mentions to Shouto that he was different from his older siblings, his older brothers in particular. And instead, Shouto is a great masterpiece, implying his brothers were failures in his eyes. Now, all of this information is quite important, as later in the series, around chapter 187, we see the present Natsu and Fuyumi when they visit their mother in the hospital. Natsu gives his mother updates on Endeavor, saying he was promoted to #1 hero, but he also added that he still cannot forgive his father for how he treated the family. However, he gets surprised when his mother mentions that Endeavor visits her and left her flowers. She then tells him that his father is dealing with internal problems. The reason this is all important to mention is to indicate that Endeavor's character has changed. He's trying to be better than he was and have a relationship with his family. More than likely, the story of My Hero Academia in the near future will focus on this point and probably make a whole arc about Endeavor and all his mistakes. Now, as the two left the asylum, they watched the news report of their father fighting a villain. Natsu was horrified to watch as Endeavor was overwhelmed by the villain's attack, showing that he still cares about his father to some extent. Natsu continued to watch the broadcasting, wondering why Endeavor continued fighting. He was frantically stating that he should give up and retreat like he did with his own children, but Yumi told him that their father is the person who is too stubborn to even do that. A lot more things get revealed in chapter 192. After Endeavor's fight, he manages to survive but still ends up with a nasty scar scar. But because of this, Natsu, Fuyumi and Shouto decide to gather together at home to try to welcome their dad. But when Endeavor arrives, Natsu let his emotions out, confronting Endeavor on everything he's done, saying how he was neglected, deemed a failure and set aside to the point that he was never let into his younger brother Shouto's life. But as he goes off, Natsu mentions all the bad things Endeavor caused, stating, "You completely neglected us and left us to listen to Mom screaming and Shouto's crying. Not to mention what happened with big bro Touya." Now, it was weird enough that Toya's presence was absent unlike Shouto's other siblings, but now in this chapter we get told that something actually happened to Touya, and the way Natsu says this gives us a good reason to believe it's indirectly or directly Endeavor's fault. Natsu continues his rant by saying Endeavor's incapable of change, but he gets surprised by his father's response as Endeavor replies that he will face his past to atone for everything he has done, and he later even apologized to his daughter, saying that he is sorry for everything. This goes back to my point about an upcoming arc all about Endeavor facing his past self. Now not much else is revealed to what could have happened to Touya Todoroki, but what we do know is that he along with Natsu was deemed a failure by their father, and it is possible that there was an incident in the past that Touya actually went missing or maybe even presumed dead. Okay, so now that we pretty much know the dynamics of the Todoroki family, the fact that Endeavor not only had a bad relationship with Shouto but with all his other kids including Touya, along with the revelation that there was an incident with Touya possibly leading to his absence in the series. With that, let's go into the signs that Dabi is actually Touya. Now Dabi was introduced as a villain in the anime in episode 31, and he had shown us that his quirk allows him to control blue flames. But come on, we can't just start concluding that everyone with flame quirk is related to a Todoroki. That's why we have to dive into this a bit deeper. The main argument is the similarity of their features from their facial shapes to, more importantly, even their eye color. The turquoise greenish blue eyes seems to be unique to the Todoroki family in this series, more accurately on Endeavor's side of the family. Endeavor's eyes are both this color, likewise with Fuyumi and Shouto's left eye. And in the anime, it actually was confirmed that Dabi's eyes is this exact same color. And this point is actually more of a solid giveaway than it appears, as blue eyes are recessive, and because Endeavor's wife also has a recessive eye color which is grey, it made it likely for this eye color to be passed down. Hence, if you notice, not many people have blue eyes in this series. Now apart from eyes, there's also the fact that if you compare young Touya to Dabi, there's also some similarities with the hair shape, and if you compare it to young Endeavor's hair, it also looks similar. Now there is a difference in hair color which could be due to Dabi dyeing it black. This is not an uncommon thing to do. Now moving on to the second point, which is Dabi's quirk. Although Dabi's fire is bright blue while Shouto's is red-orange like Endeavor's, however the fact that it's blue is also a further proof and evidence that Dabi is Touya Todoroki. Why, you ask? Well, the change in colour isn't because of temperature difference but a chemical one. Let me explain with a bit of science. Their mother's power is to create ice, which is more likely due to the production of liquid nitrogen within her body. Now leaving aside the freezing and liquid, let's focus on the nitrogen. A compound of nitrogen and carbon, C4N2 or carbon subnitrate, burns a bright blue flame. Hence, it is possible that due to his mother's genetics, Touya could have inherited specific features from his mother which didn't balance well with Endeavor's quirk as it did for Shouto. If Touya got his nitrogen base from his mom and fire production from his dad, the formation of carbon subnitrate is very possible and hence the ability to produce a blue flame. But wait, what if there's more to it? What if Touya not only inherited his mother's nitrogen production but also her fire vulnerability, giving him an innate weakness? Touya could have been born with health problems due to this. This argument is backed by the fact that Touya as a child, even though he's older than Natsu, he looked much shorter and frail. This illness could have caused Endeavor to look down on Touya more and make him feel weak to the point where Touya tried using his quirk only to burn himself, which could have made his family believe he was dead. It's then possible that his mother snuck Touya away from his family to protect him, but due to her episode of losing her mind, she couldn't go back to him. Now the third point is more of a half a point, but it's the way that Dabi uses his quirk. It's very similar to how Shouto uses it, and it could be due to obviously being taught by the same father. The fourth point is Dabi's interactions. When we first see Dabi's encounter with both Shouto and Endeavor, it seemed as though he knows both of them on a personal level, as with both of them he called out their full names. And the fact that Shouto or Endeavor didn't really react could have been because Dabi dyed his hair black and seemed to have gone through some extensive facial injuries, and the fact that they both believe that Touya is dead. Now, if everything I mentioned doesn't shout out Dabi is Touya, well, let me add this point to the mix. Dabi's introduction was as a hardcore fan of hero killer Stain. Dabi shares the same ideology that Stain has, and if you think about it, Touya living underneath the Todoroki household is the perfect example of someone being directly affected by a so-called hero who obsesses over glory and ego, rather than actually saving and doing good for the sake of good itself. Endeavor is exactly the kind of hero that Stain condemns, and Touya suffered at his hands. Lastly, if you go by this theory of Touya overworking and trying to prove his worth to his father, subsequently ending up burning himself alive, the name he gave himself, Dabi, makes perfect sense, as Dabi translates to cremation, which Touya sees himself as the ashes of who he once was. Alright guys, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed this theory, then smash that like button, subscribe, ding that notification bell, and let me know in the comment section below if you want more videos like this. Oh, and guys, don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms to keep up to date on our next few topics. With that, I'll see you guys till next time.